So, I understand that I'm not a doctor, and not by any stretch of the imagination I'm going to accomplish that. But I understand the benefit of novel experiences, meaning first-time experiences done by somebody who has some understanding of the experience. I truly wish I had been credentialed, and I feel the need to excuse myself to validate what I'm doing right now. Alright. But this is my first time ever doing a dose this significant of shrooms. And I have been documenting the experiences as I transition for the first time. And when you hear this, I think it's like California surfer dude-esque that I'm speaking. I don't know why I'm leaning into that, why it feels natural. But this also feels, this experience feels like a awakening. And so when I break that down, okay, speaking it out loud makes this more difficult to process. And there's a certain delay, which is throwing me off as far as basically think of it like lips moving and then the sound catching up afterwards. There's a delay, which makes it more difficult to go through this process. Anyway, novelty is important. And it doesn't matter if this is my birthday. And this is why I endorse free public education. Access to resources, but more specifically education. That could be the Einsteins that are existing all around us. Being able to really hone their gifts. Right now what I am doing is I am leaning into mine. I have a systematic approach for, and by the way, throughout all of this, I'm also analyzing the progression of this dosage of shrooms, because it's definitely been healing. My self-perception and my confidence have massively skyrocketed. Rightfully so. It's like taking off a heavy coat, if I were to define that. Okay. So artistic expression stands out. Dry mouth, that's what's going on. Okay. That's why I keep having the compulsion to drink water. Like part of me is choosing water because that is generally a lot healthier. Okay, so I am being more native to my self-perception, unabashed. This is a wonderful experience. I'm glad to document it. I wish I had saved the files from my first time ever doing like cannabis, because literally, I didn't have heart to go back and rewatch that. I was at an extraordinarily low place. That's me finishing up explaining myself. Everybody has hardship, and yeah, that was my way of coping, and I was very much at the end of my rope. Very much. Life has been difficult, more difficult than it should be. And the fact that it's been more difficult for other people, and how much of a fighter I really am, like, God bless those women. And it's mostly women. I have not met another dude that has had it. No, I'm lying. Okay, so I'm projecting from a place of privilege. The fucking people. Okay. I'm celebrating that other people have been right, and I'm lamenting simultaneously. And this is my coping mechanism for lamenting. I am lamenting that I didn't catch on to that and believe it sooner, because that has been a consistent in my life. Okay, so diving back into memories and similar feelings, which ties to resentment, and frequent thoughts. Like I frequently reflect on the past, and I feel guilt, lament. Okay, so yeah, wow, this isn't it. So I'm trying to think of how to define that. Give it an inch, take a mile. That's literally what's going on here. So this right here, I am both self-soothing and wiping off the water, and I don't want to say it out loud because it makes me feel extraordinarily self-conscious because of my sensibilities as a person and how I define myself. Wow, I'm really leaning into my natural personality and belief structure. I believe in equality, equity, inclusion. I believe that we are all God's creatures, and we are all part of the same source creator. Like, okay, so since we're already here, let's fucking do this. I've been wanting to make a video of this for a while, and yes, we're going to talk about this. Do we still have sound? Yes, we do. Okay. So, number one, I am so much more present than I normally am. And that shows me how much of a haze that I have been under, both from stress and just the stimuli that I was taking in. Okay, so I am able to better direct my focus. This is impressive. As somebody with ADHD and autism, I'm glad I'm sitting down. Because that's one thing I forgot to mention, I keep on forgetting to mention, is equilibrium is definitely thrown. So I don't like to admit that I have seasickness like I was, well, patriarchy. That's why I didn't ever want to admit that, sometimes I felt wheezy, like I have an iron stomach. Wow. I wish I had water. And the fact I am able to say this so freely, no doubt being hoarded, it shows me how conscious I have been of how other people perceive me. And okay, I'm leaning into the California dude. Whoa, it's an emotionally soothing mechanism. I always thought those guys were confident and cool, like no matter what, even if they're looking stupid. All right. It definitely leans into my natural perceptions, and like things that I have reflected on a lot. I've been meaning to do videos like this and to share new experiences that I go through. I'm extraordinarily self-conscious because of how things like that are held against other people. Making this video, I would love to be able to be a doctor and to go back to college. I understand this could be shooting myself in the foot a little bit. And that's why I think a lot of people are not leaning into novel experiences and diving into systematically breaking down. Like there's a reason people aren't speaking up about certain things. And we have a warped perception of how we view the world, because it's always through a lens of, okay, corporatism, and what's going on right now. So why am I wanting to focus on this? I want to get a message out, because that's very important, and this is a very novel experience. I've never been high on shrooms like this before. And it's my birthday, so obviously, like wow, okay. And this is gonna, it's gonna go next level. And well, I'm thinking about my future right now, because I'm going through this and I'm recording for posterity purposes, because novel experiences, analyzed systematically, is a good thing. It's a good thing to study. Gives a different perspective. Fresh Eyes approach. And that's why Fresh Eyes is very important, even though other people have talked about this before. Having somebody that's capable of conveying the message to, wow, my thoughts just went biblical. Wow. How languages are understood over time and lost in translation is what I was referring to, but I'm just like, whoa. Like, wow. The comparison is arrogant, but it's also present. And, okay, so here, I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about this. Not with the novelty of this experience, but I kind of feel I need to. So it's been talked about. God, I'm shooting myself in educational. I'm shooting myself in the foot so bad right now, but I have to be honest. And this is crazy. This is crazy. It's surreal to be in that moment that I've seen. So other people have premonitions. I've had them since I was 5 years old, and it's not something I want to talk about. But I knew that one day I would, and it would actually help a lot. And every thing, this is not a Messiah complex. Okay. Think about it like the Great Wall of China was like I'm a brick. I'm a brick in that wall. And my ability to be present, wow, inhibitions, God bless them. But here's the thing, I've seen this. When I was a child, I've seen this. I've seen where we are, humanity, all that. Wow. But we're also at a brink. And this is why I have to speak out, and there's going to be other people too. So we need to clean up the environment. We need to stop using petroleum. There are other ways to do things, and we need to get along as a people. We're all humans. We're all part, like, no matter how. If you try to convince me of atheism, I will defeat you. I understand better. And, wow, I am that guy. Self-awareness is a bitch. I mean, this is what they say when you're leaning into your future. But we need to get along. As a species, we need to get along. It's that time. It's that time to be adults. I understand why shrooms are so awakening. It basically takes away the need for survival. Well, social survival. Like I just don't care. Like I used to be. Here's the thing. I cared about other people. I did. I didn't understand empathy. I was a young autistic man, and I also came from a matriarchal perspective. God, I just want water. I'll write it out. I don't want to get up because I understand the value of time right now. But yeah, there's a lot of people. We just need to get along. It's not hard to accept others. We have enough in the world, and I think it's time that we be better. When I look at China and Japan, like we're ready. We've got AI, and we can solve complex problems by running millions upon millions of interpretive simulations to understand, like adaptive interpretive simulations. So we can cure aging. We're going to get to that point very, very soon. The thing as we try to hide. I did not want to be in this moment. I saw it. And here's the thing, if we're speaking freely, I don't want to drink any more Coke. That's my birthday, and we're going to celebrate this. I understand that we're going through realizations and growing pains as a world, but especially as a country. There's a way that everybody can be happier. When I say everybody, I'm including people at the top that don't realize they're not happy, they're content. And when we lower those social barriers, when we give people enough, when we stop starving them, when we treat people, like when we treat them like we want to be treated in their economic situation. Okay. And that would take empathy from the top, I get it. But baby steps. We gotta make it education like universal. We gotta make sure that everybody's taken care of. Okay, we shouldn't have anybody on the streets. And we could solve that with just a couple $1 million. Like that's just throw it, like toss it, and that's literally taxes. And that will keep people happy. That will keep them content so that they can pursue like the dreams that they have. But understand that people at the top are going to be able to cross over with everybody else. Not everybody's going to want their money. When we don't have to have so much scarcity, it creates an environment where survival isn't needed anymore. Like we can start pursuing things that we're good at. We could have Einsteins come out from the woodworks that would otherwise be unappreciated because of economic barriers. And we would have some amazing people come out and amazing discoveries. And when we tie in AI, well, this is going to be a hell of a first episode. And I assure you, this is something that I wanted to do, and I just didn't have the balls to do it. Because I very much appreciate the value of perception. So, and if you're like reading my really loud expressions, those are not micro expressions. But yeah, I want to talk about that at some point too, relative to autism and ADHD. I have been doing a lot of research into Jungian perspective, and I've got to verify the sources, but if the interview I just heard was actually from Jung, wow, that man is impressive. We need to be nicer to each other. That's all. We just gotta be nice to each other, get the homeless off the streets, give people a fair chance. I assure you the people at the top are going to feel, they're not going to realize that they have been viewing the rest of the world from a, like, us-them survival standpoint. And even if it's just infinitesimal, like, think of it like a brick in the Great Wall of China. That just wasn't properly cured. I mean, it's not as strong as everything else, right? It's not really going to take down the wall. But when we have everything harmonious, I'm really trying to pronounce because, and I'm not going to validate he's on my birthday. Wow. The fact that I've seen this. It's really intense, surreal, and it's really me trusting the process and the universe. I wish you understood. I'm sure most of you will not be able to understand or have a point of reference. And there's a few out there that really do understand. And making these videos is me throwing myself out there. I'm not used to be seen. I'm not used to being seen. Or at least, that's not something I prided myself on when I was younger, and that's just because of public humiliation. When I cracked on the national anthem at Rockets Red Glare, because I didn't trust my gut and go a third lower, because we practiced it, the same mistake was made, and it was slightly out of my vocal range. And that is how damn practiced I am at everything I do, or at least try to do. If I took a passion into it, then there's a reason for it, and I'm going to take it seriously. And right now I am remembering who I am. I have been giving so much value to how other people perceive me from a survival standpoint. I have been living in scarcity mode for a long time. Okay. I'm walking through like the different sensations, and I'm following the progression of thought patterns. And I'm trying to say it at the same time. So bear with me. This is my first time ever going this deep on shrooms, and it's interesting. I'm self-conscious about using the word shrooms relative to how it's going to be publicly perceived and potentially thrown against me. That's how bad it has been for me in the past. And I've known people that have been through worse. I love them dearly. They are the sweetest, kindest, nicest, great people. And the people at the top, if they understood that, like, I've said this for years, but if you've gone through your life only eating apples and being able to eat as many as you want to because you have that much money, right? Like, you can do whatever the hell you want to. Until you taste the lemon consistent, like, until you taste the lemon, you don't truly understand. Give me a second. I have phlegm running down. Okay, that's another symptom. Okay. And I'm trying to keep up with the pace, so in some ways processing speed is enhanced, and it seems like there's a delay in interpretation. Of course, this is a very, very surreal thing. Okay, so I want to focus in on this exact thing, but I'm feeling conflicted because, okay, I know I have to talk about this stuff. I don't want to. Like, there's part of me that doesn't want to. Just because of how the public is going to perceive me and hold it against me. And it's unfortunate that we live in that type of climate. Novelty of experience is very, very valuable to a somewhat trained eye, so to speak. Okay, there it is. And I'm going back to self-conscious. I realize that I need to post this video out. I understand that. Please be gentle. And there will be many more like me. I am not the first. Like, don't think of me as anything more significant than a decently well-built brick. Wow, I just leaned into the mannerism of one of my uncles that I really respect and recently saw. The cold hard truth is, I know what I know. And I can convey it as I'm conveying it. People are going to react how they're going to react. And that's sadly unfortunate, like these days. I really want to lean into simulation theory because I don't want to imagine that humanity is this cruel to each other. We know better. you have to do is be nicer, give a fair chance, and then let people, determine how they're going to go through those waters, but give them fair waters to trade in. Make it fair. Everybody should have their basic needs met. We are post-scarcity. Why don't we act like it? Because, seriously, we can cure every problem. Okay. You want to solve aging? Just let the Einsteins breathe. They're going to show up. And then you're going to use your AI, and we're going to make things better. But we're also going to clean up the environment, because we need to, in order to just make everything okay. Creating people are not ambitious, the people at the top are projecting. It's going to be a slow crawl. I've seen all this, and it's crazy to be able to say that out loud and mean it. Whole chest. But I also know that that's necessary. We need to clean things up. We need to be nicer to each other. We need to act like a post-scarcity world. It's that time. And you're going to see a lot more people saying the same thing. We just need to start acting like good people to each other. So much more to study. I am finding myself fatigued. And what's crazy though, this, and I know that you're seeing a guy in front of a camera that's talking about an experience that he's going through. There's going to be so many more. They're going to come. Man, it's hard to keep my composure right now. Excuse me. Man, it's a damn shame it took. Was that a good enough dose? Okay, so, think a quarter. A quarter of shrooms. Was that good enough to, like, according to all the people I've spoken to, I don't do things before, like, studying them a bit. And when it came to shrooms, my understanding was that you had to have a good amount to have true ego death. But I really want to lay down now. I'm tired. This has been fun. We need to clean things up and be nicer to each other. It's that time now. And this is not the first time that this message has been coming through. People are going to understand it. You're going to see a lot more people saying the same message. Here's the thing. The CIA documents about Project Looking Glass, they are true. I've spoken to many people that have said that they were one of these children. Listen, past the past. We gotta move to a brighter future. And we can. Everybody can be happy. Like seriously, the people at the top don't realize, even if there's a tiny bit of like survival, it creeps. I'm glad that I want a mini. And the sooner we clean this up, the sooner everybody's going to be happy. Like it's going to be better, and everybody's going to be happier. Once we solve the survival needs of everybody, and we have the capability, we throw away more food than we need as a species. Okay, so the U.S. creates more food and throws away more food than is needed to feed the entire world. According to the information that I gathered, keep in mind these are from TikToks of people I respect that showed visuals and they did give sources. We just need to clean things up, make things better. Nobody ever wants to be in that time. And here's the thing, Trump and all of his people, like, all they have to do is ease up. That's all they have to do. And, like, we can do things so much better than what we're doing. We shouldn't be leaning into the past. And when I say I love all of you, it comes from a place of genuine love. I want all of us to do better. But we need to start taking action now. I don't know what the alternative turns into. I just know that everything about me is screaming, don't go that direction. And so this is me taking my stand as a person. I've been studying into reality as much as I could have since I was a child, just to understand why are we here. And I am not a doctor. But we need to step up now. Like all of the doctors are saying we need to. It's time. It's time. I just wanted to keep quiet. But that's the thing about knowledge. So people like to talk about the Bible and all that. So we have the CIA that's detailed remote location and remote viewing, out-of-body experiences, and they've been documented for thousands of years. And the CIA is just barely catching up to what has been spoken about for thousands of years. You just have to get the right culture and the right time and understand what they're saying. And you have to, in some cases, like mine, experience it yourself. And then grow the balls to be able to talk about it, even if you don't have credentials, or, yeah, that's fair. We've got some really warped public perceptions these days. I'm seeing things through a non-social lens. Okay. I'm diagnosing as I'm going through. And lamenting, like, I knew this time was coming. And that I had to do my part. And we can make things so much better on this earth. We just need to band together and act like the Christians we call ourselves. I try to be kind to people. It's not difficult at all. You give what you can, make sure that needs are met. And I don't think that the people at the top, maybe they do appreciate their limitations to mobility. They're stuck in a cocoon of, I have this much money and all those people need it. That's where the survival instinct came from. That's why when I say they're secretly in survival mode, they're just averting what they see as dangerous or undesired. Like when you get to a certain level of privilege, it warps perspective and diminishes appreciation of life and the experience that we have here. I'm feeling winded. I'm going to take a break. Okay. Take a breath. in my kitchen, I am ashamed to say this, and I didn't realize how depressed I actually was. It crept up on me. Well, it's one of those crazy things, like, you don't imagine yourself being in that time or for all that stuff being real. Like, there's part of me that's like, is it like, I don't like that I'm saying it out loud, mostly because of how people are going to perceive it and the fact that a lot of people aren't going to pursue it afterwards. Like, the people in charge, people, it angers me that the people in leadership positions are not listening to the scientists on things that really, really matter, because everybody will be happier, like, top to bottom, when we start getting along. Like, it's seriously, we are on the cusp of a true, like, I don't want to use the word golden age because it's so, like, how it's labeled and social perceptions and all of that. Like, I want what I'm saying to be effective, because sadly it's important. And that's the thing, if we just started caring about each other a little bit more, realizing that environmental scientists who specialize in those fields know more than the politicians who didn't. And, like, we are like the Titanic if we knew that there was an iceberg ahead. So we just need to steer in a different direction. And I'm saying that as a species to become better. Yeah, the past was nice. So everything is colliding at the same time for me. Please understand that. So my studies into spirituality and just trying to explain the experiences I've had in the past. Like, the first time I found out that premonitions weren't just like a brain trick, that really spooked me. Like, when I saw that, like, that's an actual thing. And listen, I know how this sounds, but my experiences were my experiences. I just tried to make sense of them. Now, I understand that schizophrenia would be the general diagnosis, but that's not the case with me. And gosh, doesn't that sound like, wow. I'm adopting, so I'm using a coping mechanism to adopt a persona that is generally accepted as quite playful, all that, but the entire time I am self-soothing. We're going to course correct. My experiences are my experiences. I accept that. I really want to be a doctor and be a professor of psychology. I love it. And who knows? The more I'm understanding of reality, I use the scientific method. I use science in order to understand what I am experiencing personally, as well as what other people have described experiencing, and the surfacing of new documents from like declassified documents from the CIA. We just gotta be nice to each other and enjoy the experience while we're here, and progress humanity forward. It's so weird to see all these different things that I've studied colliding at the same time. And one theory I've had is to have premonitions, that means all time is at the same time. Like, you have to, there can't be a gap. And I'm trying to describe this while I'm going through what I'm experiencing physically. I really want to sleep. I'm trying to break everything down. But it's all true. Astronomy, the astrology, the timing of events, like, holy crap, it's true. And we need to course correct the Earth. We are apparently here for an experience, and we are part of, and oh gosh, my perspective is arrogant. Compared to, like, humanity versus everything else out there. It's I wanted to figure out what reality was and why. And then seeing that the future, seeing premonitions, you can control the premonitions that you have or see into the future. The CIA already describes it. Please don't come for me. I'm just telling you my experience. And I'm trying to break it down as scientifically as I can. And I know that I'm going to be attacked for my credentials because I understand the spin. So, when I was younger, I didn't have a sense of empathy. It was delayed. So I had empathy, but it was delayed, and part of that was my prioritization of myself and my own pleasures and enjoyment. And that delayed me and my growth as a man. I think that we should always be growing. We should always be trying to seek to better ourselves. I wanted to understand as much of the human experience as I could. And this has been a great, wonderful experience. I would totally do it again. And I want all of us to have a wonderful experience moving forward. I'm trying to understand the transition that my thought processes are having. I really, really do enjoy psychology and understanding just how we work, how everything works. Lack of resources. If I had everything I needed growing up, well, not growing up, but as an adult moving forward, I would have been much, much further ahead in my scientific career. It's just crazy to see how much of the, how much is accurate from all these different religions, because I did study that for a while. Wow. And just to be that person that I saw, I thought it was somebody else. I'm trying to understand where all this is going and where it came from. Because one of the, I don't know if it was premonition, but part of me feels like there is an external world to this, and we exist outside of this simulation. And there is increasingly, there's supporting evidence to the same. And we should all be treating this like a video game, kind of like the whole Rick and Morty thing, or Vanilla Sky with Tom Cruise and Penelope Cruz. Yeah. trying to understand it, because one of the theories that I had when I was younger was, with all that superior technology that we could have, wouldn't it make do to send people through a training for society? Like, let's say you've cured sickness. Let's say you've cured, pretty much sickness and food and all that. Like, there's no scarcity, which everybody will be happier. And it will take multiple generations. I'm trying to convince you, multiple generations for that wealth to distribute. Like nobody in the current people would not care. It would not affect them. I'm just trying to understand. The whole theory of the Great Awakening, it's like right now. So, and I was going to say, if memory serves. I'm trying to be as transparent as possible, because that's necessary. Excuse me. So, legit, one theory, in full transparency, one theory that I had was that, let's say you are an extraordinarily long-lived species, humanity, and everybody has the potential, like there's basically no illness, like futuristic society, and we're in a simulation. Let's pursue that argument, and you will put your children through simulations to train them on morality, because when they emerge from that simulation or training, which can take 80, 100 years, like in literal time, because people live thousands of years. Like this would just be a natural training, wouldn't it? So we have this natural training ground, where we are taught morality and to not be overprivileged. We're taught the golden rules. And so you send children through the simulation in order to understand, and reasonably they're going to be safe afterwards. That does not diminish the trauma, unless you have it organized systematically to create a positive experience on the other end. So basically, the child is having appreciation and understanding. All right. And if that's the case, you know, I also thought there could be criminal rehabilitation, if any of those are the case. Like, I definitely have a deep empathy for other people. Deep. I'm just trying to understand all this. Like existence right now. Because there are too many things that I can't write off. I can't dismiss them like it is that. And it lines up with historical documentation and with what people have been saying about this timeline. And we just gotta be adults about it. Like, yeah, we've been doing pretty fun playtime. We need to get along. We need to graduate. But no. Like the thing is, when I was having these premonitions of now, I really hate saying this out loud. When I was having those premonitions, I understood. So it's almost like what I'm recording right now is part of a test. Okay. And I'm subconscious of all of you. Okay. Anyway, that training would be wonderful for refining a person's sense of empathy. Reality is so cool. Because and keep in mind, I'm talking from the constraint that we're in a simulation. Right? I'm still talking in that direction. That doesn't mean we can't all play together nicely. And going through this experience, especially if you can safely put somebody through a poverty experience, or through multiple different experiences, it will definitely mature a human being. Most definitely. So what is the difference? Oh, okay. I'm trying to maintain focus. But it would be a very interesting simulation. And it would be very educational for the human being. I wonder what the Truman Show